What's good, y'all? It's Solution back at it with another mental gym video in which I give you guys mental exercises you can use to become extremely successful and accomplish all the goals that you are after. So let's get right into it. So today I want to talk about something interesting or give you guys a mental exercise that I believe is very interesting because oftentimes we feel like selfishness is a bad thing. And I'm here to tell you it's actually a very useful thing when you use it in a way that actually serves you. And so the definition I came up with for selfishness in the context of achieving your goals is using your deep internal desires to help others while you accomplish your goals. Your deep internal desires. And essentially what I mean by your deep internal desires, I mean self-preservation. Because you see, as human beings, we are actually naturally selfish. Like throughout our entire lineage of human beings existing, we do things to preserve ourselves, to keep ourselves alive. We are selfish when we need to survive. That's why think about COVID, when COVID happened, right? Everybody was buying toilet paper, right? And shit. Because why? And they weren't giving a fuck about other people want toilet paper. They're fighting over toilet paper. Why? Because the desire and need to be selfish and to preserve oneself is so natural and strong in most human beings, right? But the thing is, most people go wrong about how they are selfish. It's not bad to be selfish. It's just a desire. It's internal. It's basically biological, but I didn't want to say biological just in case maybe I'm wrong and I didn't do the research on that. But point is, like, it's natural for us to want to just do shit for ourselves. Like, it's natural to do that. And the thing is, you want to do it in a way that just doesn't undermine other people. And if you do it in a way that doesn't undermine other people, when you are trying to accomplish your goals based on your own internal deep desires and other people benefit from it, no one bats an eye at you. You see, people don't like selfish people who step on other people's toes blatantly, who literally do not give a fuck. They're like, who cares what anybody else wants? It's all about what I want. Right? And because of that, we don't like those people. We shun those people. I mean, obviously, I would not fuck with that person. Why? Because if I know this guy's just gonna step on my toes because he's gonna get what he wants, I'm not gonna fuck with him. I'm gonna be like, yeah, nah, fuck that guy. He should be doing this, he should be doing that. Like, I'm gonna be judging and putting all my expectations on that guy to act a completely different way to make sure he does not do some shit to me because he wants to get what he wants. Right? But all you have to do to change this, to actually make use of this deep internal desire to accomplish your goals, because as I said, the desire to be selfish and have ego is natural. Right? You just have to make sure while you're doing it, other people also benefit from it. And I'll give you guys a few examples to make this really cool and easy to understand. So think about a striker in soccer, right? So a striker's job in soccer is to do what? Score goals, right? And in order to score goals, you have to shoot, right? But nobody can just tell you shoot here, shoot there. Obviously, someone could communicate with you on the field and tell you to shoot. But basically, all great strikers or very good strikers are selfish, and people would describe them in a soccer community or soccer context. They would describe them as selfish players. And a lot of players actually want their striker to be selfish. Why? Because if he is selfish, he will shoot more. If the striker shoots more, that means the opportunities for him to score are higher. If you are a striker and you barely shoot, you're never going to score a lot. But if you're a striker and you shoot a lot, and obviously you have hopefully professional level skills, right? Because I'm speaking professional here, I guess. But this could apply to all forms of soccer in any level. But if you're a striker and you're shooting a shit ton, the chances that you're going to be able to score are going to be fucking high, which is a good thing. Because if you score as a striker, what did you do? You helped the team. But while helping the team, you served your own ego. You served your own selfishness because you wanted to score. That's all you cared about. You don't have to give a fuck about your teammates, the goalkeeper, your coach, or whatever. You're here to score goals. That's what's fun to you. That's what you care about. Your own personal, deep internal desire, right? But because you were scoring goals, other people benefited because you scored. Now your team wins the game. You served your ego. Everybody else got what they wanted, and you guys won the game. Everyone, and that's why, and I'm saying all this because when I played soccer or when I was trying to take soccer very seriously, I was a striker, right? So I was like, selfishness, yeah, bro, you gotta be selfish. You gotta be scoring because that's really anyone ever really cares about when it comes to a striker, which is funny because It's backwards from how most of society would look at it. Like, oh, you can't be selfish. It's bad. You should always be selfless. But anyway, just to come back here to the example, like everyone on the field is actually a supporting actor to the striker. So his selfishness is actually a spearhead for the whole benefit of the team. Because if a striker doesn't score, if no one is scoring goals, the team can't win. The best the team can do is draw, but it cannot win. And winning is what matters. That's what you want to do. You're playing to win or to attempt to win, right? That's what matters. So you need your striker to be scoring, right? And the thing is, the striker is at his best when he is doing this because the desire is deep and internal. And this is where I'll go into another example of how to describe this. So I heard a story about an EMT. So an EMT, I believe so, do not quote me, please. An EMT is basically a guy or a medicine guy or a guy part of a medical unit or a guy or a girl. Anyway, so basically a medical person. So when people get hurt in war or soldiers get hurt in war, they usually go to the EMT to like help heal them, patch them up, do whatever, basically save their life and make sure that they don't die. So you would think generally, or the average EMT is probably a really compassionate, empathetic person. He's like, oh, it's going to be okay. You're going to make it, bro. Everything's going to be all right. Probably a really compassionate and selfless person. But the interesting story about this specific EMT, when they were asking him why he was an EMT, he was like, I just want to make sure my rep the highest. I just want to make sure I save the most people and everybody knows that I was saving hella people. I have the highest stats. I have the quickest to save a person's life and get them back into the field. Like he literally was just doing it for the stats. Bro was literally just stat padding. That was his whole reason for being an EMT, which is crazy because normally you would think this EMT is like, oh, I love everybody. I'm trying to make sure everyone's good. He's like, nah, fuck that, bro. I'm just trying to make sure, I'm just healing people, get my stats up. Like, know that I was the coldest EMT. I was saving the most lives by far, right? And the reason why this is so cool and relates so much to this mental exercise I'm teaching today is because by this guy or this EMT, because he became a very well-renowned EMT because he was so good at his job. Because what this EMT realized is that if I harness my own deep internal desires here as an EMT, right, I will try harder to save people's lives. And because of that, the person on the operating table is actually benefiting more. Because think about it. The person on the operating table just wants to stay alive and be healed from injury. That's why they are there. While most EMTs might be, oh, everything's going to be okay. I'm going to make sure you're good or whatever. But the thing is, I'm going to tell you guys right now, it is unnatural or more unnatural to be selfless than it is to be selfish. As I talked about earlier, most people are naturally selfish. Most of you guys watching this video right now are probably selfish people. I'm not saying you cannot derive a lot of strong desires to serve others and to be selfless, like Mother Teresa. Like, I'm not saying you can't be like that, but I'm just saying a vast majority of you guys are probably selfish. Right? And I want you to, instead of looking at this and believing, oh, I shouldn't be this way because people tell me it's bad, you should be like, no, I can use this as a tool. Because just like this EMT, if you had to choose between EMTs, this guy who has this deep natural desire to save your life so he can protect his rep, or the other EMT who will probably try less hard to save you, because as I said, it is unnatural to be selfless. It is harder to be selfless than it is to be selfish, right? The desire to be selfish is stronger. And if the desire is stronger, someone will try harder. If your desire is here and someone's desire is here, this person will do more. So because this selfish EMT wants to protect his rep and achieve his desire so bad that comes to him naturally, he is going to do more to save this person's life compared to another EMT who might be selfless and might be trying, but the desire to save this person is just not going to be as strong. They're going to be willing to give up sooner. So if I had to choose between EMTs here, the selfless one and the selfish one, I'm going right to the selfish one. Because even though he might not give a fuck about me at all, he gonna make sure I survive. He's gonna do everything in his power to make sure I stay alive, right? And that's where I'm like, yo, this is crazy. When you see the difference, because I understand, even from pursuing my own selfish desires, as I said earlier, like I was a striker in the past when I was playing soccer, I was taking it very seriously. Harnessing these deep internal desires can help people a lot, because if you were pursuing your desires, you were trying really hard. And as you pursue your desires, you can help others, right? So getting into the first part of this mental exercise, to think about this and to conceptualize this, is think harness. So that ego that you feel and have, of that strong, deep internal desires to do something like, I want to get rich, I can drive fast cars, or I want to do this so I can get a lot of girls, or I want to do this so I can be the best at this and everybody knows I'm the best, or whatever, right? It's a good desire. You can use that. But while doing that, you can apply it in any way. And the reason why I use the EMT and the soccer example is to show you that this can apply to any form of goal achievement that you're on, or anything that you are trying to do. I will even use as the final example, because I'm pretty sure you guys get it now, but as the final example, I will use myself. So the main reason why I make all these YouTube videos and why I really enjoy doing this shit is all selfish reasoning. I think if I make these videos, write this stuff, script this stuff, think about this shit all the time, I will understand it better. And if I understand it better, I will be able to apply it better. And if I'm able to apply it better, I will get outcomes and results and accomplish the goals that I want. Literally, that's the main reason why I make these videos. Straight up, y'all, being completely transparent. That's literally why I make them. Because if I can make these videos, understand this shit, and also to add, help you guys understand it, break it down in such a simple way that a toddler can understand it and use it, that means I understand it really well. And it's not just about, do I understand it, do I not? It's how much do I understand it? Because you probably know when you understand something to an extreme amount, you are able to apply it in such a versatile way in so many different scenarios to make sure you do what? Serve yourself, which is why I personally make these videos. But the good thing, even though I have this selfish desire, you guys benefit from it, because if you watch these videos, you apply these mental exercises that I'm giving you guys to your own life, you can go get the shit that you want and serve your own selfish desires. So it just creates this nice virtual cycle of achievement of everybody getting what they want. I guess this is pretty much the essence of how business works, but it's just really cool when you think about it in this way. And I'm not saying that I don't give a fuck about you guys or some shit like that. It's more like I care about the fact that if you guys understand this or not. And that's why I ask for feedback in all of my videos, because I want to know if this makes sense. Because if I'm explaining shit and you're like, what the fuck is he talking about? I probably do not understand this shit as well as I think I do. Because if I understood it really fucking well, I could explain it to a toddler and get them to do shit that will help them achieve their goals, right? So this is where I'm talking about, like, it creates this virtuous cycle of why selfishness is actually a really good thing when it's used well. And that's moving into the second part of how you're going to think about this. First, you have to think of harnessing it, then, right, benefit others. Literally benefit others. And this is the way you can drive your life and drive forward to accomplishing all your goals and everything you want to do by using your deep internal desires. And I'm referring to your selfishness, your ego, your strong desire to do some shit and get something that you really personally want. And make sure to harness that energy, because it's a natural fuel for you to be able to go and accomplish something. But also, while harnessing that energy, make sure you're benefiting other people while you do it. Don't go and step on toes while you're being selfish. Use what you are doing while using your selfishness as a tool to help others. Use it as a tool in the same way that a striker uses his desire to score goals as a tool to benefit his whole team, right? Because his whole team will want him to be selfish, because if he scores, they win. In the same way that EMT was using his selfishness as a tool to save many lives. He didn't give a fuck about the lives or those people, but he cared about protecting his rep. But by protecting his rep, by tapping into this deep internal desire, he saved so many fucking people. And I would assume most of society is fucking with that, right? And then last but not least, as I said, for the example with me, my deep internal desire is to grow and become smarter and grow my mindset and be able to apply all these mental exercises to my own life so I can better accomplish my goals and get the shit that I want out of life. But while doing so, I'm also putting these videos out on YouTube so you guys can consume it and then use that shit in your own lives. And by me knowing that you guys understand this shit, by me knowing you guys like this shit, it means I probably understand this shit and I should be able to apply it to my own life. And it should just be a nice virtuous cycle of achieving a lot of shit. So going over it one last time, selfishness is using your deep internal desires to help others while you accomplish your goals. And by deep internal desires, I mean your desire to achieve shit and get shit you want, not caring about what other people want, but what you want necessarily, right? But while doing so, when you harness that desire, when you let go, when you break this belief that being selfish is wrong and realize you can use selfishness as a tool, letting go of any shackles you have, harnessing it fully, be like, man, I just want this shit. I don't give a fuck about what anybody else is talking about. I want this shit. This is what I want. This is what my desire is. And then boom, while doing so, just think to yourself, okay, this is what I want and this is what I really want to do. How can I, while I'm pursuing this goal, while I'm on this path, while I'm being selfish, how can I benefit others? What can I do that other people will like and they'll leave me the fuck alone because like, they won't get mad at me being selfish because I'm helping them at the same time, but I'm doing the shit that I really want to do. And like, based on the 3 examples I just gave, you can make this work with any form of goal achievement that you guys are after. So yeah, so that's pretty much my selfishness mental exercise. I really hope that helped you guys break the beliefs you might have or bad beliefs that you might have around selfishness that are holding you back and forcing you to move slower. So please, 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 as I said earlier, give me feedback on this or give me feedback on my videos so I know how to better create mental exercises that better serve you guys, to make sure you guys understand it, to better serve me so I can do the shit that I want, but you guys are also able to get the shit that you want by understanding the mental exercise. So drop it down in the comment section if you liked it, didn't like it, whatever you got to say, drop it in the comments. All helps me become a better YouTuber. And please, 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 if you liked it, of course, like this video, boost us in the algorithm, make sure more guys can see this, understand that it's actually pretty lit to be a selfish person. Just make sure you're benefiting other people at the same time so nobody bothers you while you're being selfish, of course. And I guess with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next Mental Gym video. Peace.